Gratitude and self-compassion truly do go hand in hand. And when you bring them together, you create this beautiful cycle of kindness and growth and emotional resilience. Welcome to the Core Happiness Podcast. I'm your host, Kacee Banks, a mindset and positive psychology coach. On this podcast, we discuss all things related to creating happiness from within. So let's do it. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited that you are here today, whether you are tuning in on your morning commute or maybe during a mid-workout or just relaxing. I hope that this episode just adds a little bit of light and clarity to your day. As we are getting into the November Thanksgiving holiday, I typically like to focus on gratitude just in a way to increase awareness for all that we have to be thankful for. But I realized recently that gratitude can be a struggle if you lack self-compassion. So today, I really want to focus on both gratitude and self-compassion. And these concepts may seem like completely separate ideas, but when we bring them together, that's where the magic happens. It's a very powerful combo that can really shift how we think, how we feel, how we act towards ourselves. So let's dive into how gratitude can play a significant role in enhancing self-compassion. And then, of course, as usual, I will break down some science behind it. I'll share some practical tips on how we can implement this into our daily lives. So let's start with the first basic question. What is self-compassion? Now, if you've been listening to this podcast, you should be able to answer that easily. But for those that are new or turning in for the first time, self-compassion is all about treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when things don't go as planned. So imagine you've just made a mistake, and that inner dialogue is that harsh inner critic that tells yourself things like, you're not good enough. You always mess up, right? Instead of being the gentle friend to yourself that says, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. And you know what? You're doing your best. And unfortunately, for most of us, we lean towards that first one, that harsh critic, and we're often just mean to ourselves, right? So that's where the self-compassion comes in. It's more about being that gentle friend versus that bully. And here's where it gets interesting. Research shows us that gratitude, the simple act of being thankful, can help us cultivate more self-compassion. Isn't that interesting? So let's break down how this works. And bear with me because this is where I geek out on the science just a little bit, but it's really cool. So first off, studies in positive psychology show that gratitude not only boosts our overall happiness, but it rewires our brains. If you listen to the previous episode that I did on gratitude, we talked about neural pathways, and I likened it to if you were walking through a forest that you've never walked through before. And as you walk through, you walked a path, you turned around and came back that exact path. And then maybe the next day you go back and you walk that same path again. Eventually, you're actually creating a path in the forest floor. That's how our neural pathways work. So the more that we practice gratitude regularly, it strengthens our neural pathways related to positive thinking and emotional regulation. So it's easier for our brains to regulate emotions. And guess what? When our brains are better at regulating emotions, we're less likely to fall into the trap of self-criticism when things go wrong. Now, there's also research done by Dr. Kristen Neff, who is a pioneer in the self-compassion research area, that highlights how people who practice gratitude tend to be more forgiving of themselves. Why? Because gratitude encourages us to focus on the positives, including all the things we do well. So this naturally leads to a kinder, more compassionate inner dialogue when we face challenges. So all that to say, in a nutshell, gratitude helps our brains focus on the good, which makes it easier for us to be kinder to ourselves. So let's get a little bit practical because I know you want actionable steps, or at least I hope you want actionable steps. And so if you're wondering, okay, but how do I actually use gratitude to be more self-compassionate? here are some simple ways to get you started to just enhance self-compassion, okay? Because that's the number one goal at this point. The first one is gratitude and self-compassion journal. This is my favorite because it's so effective. At the end of each day, I want you to take just a few minutes, literally 5 minutes or less, and write down 2 things. 1, something that you are grateful for, and 2, something kind and compassionate you can say to yourself, especially if you faced any challenges that day. For example, you might write, I'm grateful for the support I got from my colleague today. And then follow it up with, everything didn't go perfectly today, but that's okay because I know I did my best. This practice shifts your focus from what went wrong in the day to what went right. And it helps to reinforce that kind, understanding voice in your head. Okay, next practical tip, reframe mistakes with your gratitude. What that means is when you make a mistake, instead of spiraling into the self-criticism, try to reframe the situation with gratitude. Ask yourself questions like, what can I learn from this? What is there to be grateful for in this experience? For example, let's say you're at work, you missed a deadline. Instead of beating yourself up, you could say, I'm grateful for the chance to improve my time management skills. This taught me what works and what doesn't work, right? So you're essentially turning a negative into a growth opportunity, which fosters both gratitude and self-compassion. And the third practical tip, and this is a fun one, I want you to make a list of all the things you're grateful for about yourself. Okay, did you get that? Keyword is about yourself, not just in your life and in general. What are you grateful for about you? Maybe it's your sense of humor. Maybe it's the way you show up for your friends. Maybe it's your resilience. But start with acknowledging your strengths. It becomes easier to treat yourself with kindness because you're recognizing that, hey, I've got some good things going on for me. So you start to show yourself that appreciation. Now, I want to talk about why all of this matters. And you honestly might even be thinking, okay, but why does any of this matter? Why does self-compassion really matter? As long as I'm compassionate to others, why does it matter if I'm compassionate to myself? Here's why. Having self-compassion, or at least cultivating more self-compassion, is the best thing you can do for your mental health. And I'm going to repeat that because I really want this to sink in. When you have more self-compassion, when you are compassionate to yourself, it is truly one of the best things that you can do for your own mental health. Mental health has been a topic recently, especially since the pandemic, because we are becoming more aware of how important it is. And mental health really is at the crux of your overall wellness. So when you think about self-compassion being one of the best things you can do for your mental health, it just makes it a game changer, right? We're treating ourselves kindly, we're less stressed, we're less anxious, we're more resilient in face of challenges. And again, gratitude is like that secret sauce that makes self-compassion easier. So by focusing on the good in our lives and the good within ourselves, we naturally become more forgiving and understanding even when we stumble, even when we're faced with obstacles, even when it feels like, wow, I'm just getting hit left and right, problem after problem or situation after situation. So there you have it. Gratitude and self-compassion truly do go hand in hand. And when you bring them together, you create this beautiful cycle of kindness and growth and emotional resilience. And yes, we talk about gratitude a lot. And this month, November, for me, is always the month of gratitude. But I encourage you to take it a step further into self-compassion, because that's truly where you'll see the benefits of being grateful, is once you start to work on cultivating more self-compassion. Whether it is starting a gratitude and self-compassion journal, or reframing your mistakes, or simply appreciating your own strengths, trust me when I say it will be a game changer for your mental health. As a bonus to today's episode, I have created a free workbook for gratitude and self-compassion. This is a 30-day workbook designed to help you integrate both gratitude and self-compassion into your daily life, and to help you make space for reflection, growth, and self-acceptance. So each day includes a unique gratitude prompt and a corresponding self-compassion prompt. And then together, they will guide you to explore various aspects of your life. And this is spanning so many different things, including careers, hobby, finances, time management, relationships, the future, core values, and more. Okay? To grab this free workbook, you can visit corehappiness.com/resources, or you can simply click the link in the show notes. Before we wrap up today, I just want to say that I hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, please make sure that you tune in for the next episode as we dive deeper into the transformative power of self-compassion with Dr. Cindy Sai. You do not want to miss it. Remember, you are worthy of kindness from others and, most importantly, from yourself. Until next time. I thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this podcast, please feel free to rate it or leave a review. If you have any thoughts or questions, I would love to hear from you. You can email podcast@corehappiness.com. For show notes and additional resources, you can visit www.corehappiness.com. As always, please remember, never let anyone diminish your light. Until next time, sending you my love.